Hey MVP is going to talk to you guys about the next fight on the main card. It is nil. I'm old as shit. Magny versus Elizeu, Zaleski, Dos Santos, senior. Right? These are senior citizens, bro. This is the senior tour of the PGA. This is insane. These dudes are old as hell, 37, 38 years old. In fight years, you're on your last leg or whatever, right? So let's talk about Dos Santos. The last time he was in the cage, he was a heavy favorite. Shout out to Vegas. And just know that the odds here, he's a favorite again. Minus 190 to me is a heavy favorite. That's 2-1 odds. And I haven't ever seen him look this way against a fighter like Neil Magny. That's absurd, right? So let's just go look at it, though. The last time he was in the cage, I predicted that Chidi was going to win the fight as an underdog. And a lot of what I talked about was Chidi's taller than this man, so the length is there. And while Zaleski does a lot of nifty things in the striking game, changes his angles, he changes his level and angles, and he looks like a striker. The problem is when you do that, you're further away from the target. And he throws some looping strikes, and he's he's inefficient with his movement. Eventually gets exhausted and tired. And then he doesn't have that knockout power that everybody thinks he has. Like, he does have 15 knockouts in his life. He's knocked people out. But when you go back and look, who are the knockouts on? It's a dude named Zach Scroggin. You couldn't point him out in a crowd right now. Okay? And then before that, the last knockout he had was in 2018. That's 7 years ago. So the last knockout he had was 7 years ago. And yeah, he knocked out Sean Strickland. He knocked out some guys. But we're talking about most of his knockouts were against, he's a can crusher. They were back there beating up cab drivers in Brazil. So when he got to the UFC, if you look at him and he fights these higher level fighters, the best win of his life is down here. Benoit Saint Denis, as far as high level fighters go. Sean Strickland, Benoit Saint Denis. That's it. If he fights anybody pretty decent, Randy Brown, Chidi, Muslim Salikov, Zhang Lang, this dude's going to sleep. Now, is he going to sleep against a guy like Neil Magny? Probably not. But there's inefficiency here with the way he strikes and the way he moves and what he does. And I just don't know how you back him at this amount in a small octagon. Neil Magny wants to clinch against the fence. People will say he wants to smother, he wants to clinch against the fence. It's the most boring fight in the world. There's no crowd to watch this fight. There's no crowd. So there's no one that's going to be booing, swaying the judges. They're just going to be looking for somebody who's in charge or in the way here. And you got to believe Neil Magny is the guy that's going to pin you up against the fence and just knee you and throw little bullshit rabbit punches and elbow, maybe a foot stomp. Neil Magny is just a clincher, a boring one, and it wins decisions. Now, you might see all these losses and be like, Neil Magny can't scrap, Rico. Why are you picking him? Bro, this boy, Elizeu, if he was fighting the same fighters Neil Magny is, he would have a worse record. He wouldn't be remotely close. He would have been knocked out by Carlos Prates and Michael Morales. Neil Magny fights upper echelon guys, bro. Look at that. That says Magny. Magny is on the poster. Okay? Neil Magny's fighting. Magny's on the poster. He's the main event. He's fighting the best fighters in the world, and he's going 50-50 with these cats. So this is the easiest fight he's had in 5 years. Easiest fight he's had in 5 years. Look at this. Monster. Not 5 years, but 5 fights. The last 4 fights for Neil Magny have been Ian Machado Gary, Michael Morales, Carlos Prates. That's murder's row. And he won one of them. Came back to win one by knockout. And you got him at a plus 170, bro? Come on. Shout out to Elizeu. He should come out here and just flatline Neil Magny. Neil Magny's got a suspect chin. Everybody knows it. He's old. He's going away. He's got I don't believe none of that shit. Neil Magny's 6'3". He's going to tie you up. He's the taller fighter. He's going to put you up against the cage, and you won't be able to disrupt what he's doing. I'm serious. I'm on Neil Magny, and it's a value bet. You don't have to take it MVPs. Remember, that's 41%, 41.5%. By the end of the year, this shit might be 39%. Just fade it every time. That's a 205 for you. It looks healthy. It's a healthy 205 right there. Just letting you know. But I like where I'm at. I'm cool. I'm going to be rooting for Neil. And here's the thing. If Neil loses this fight, you'll never take him again. You'll never get to put your hard-earned money on Neil again. So go one last time. Do it for the OG. Do it for the real gatekeeper. This is the initial gatekeeper. If you didn't know, Neil Magny, if you thought you were a good fighter and you wanted to get off the prelim card, they would just pair you up with Neil Magny for the last decade. And if you can beat Neil Magny, you belong on the main card. If you can't beat him, send your ass to the PFL. Neil Magny is that guy. That's what he's been his whole life. And now he's getting an old dude just like him. And I'm looking at you going, man, Neil Magny's been fighting the best of the best. Are you shitting me, bro? I'll take Neil. I will. He's crafty. Good enough. As long as his chin holds up, he's all right. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows.